Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra with Trading Made Simple.
And that means that fear, greed, hope, it's all there while you're looking at the chart wondering if you should go long, if you should go short, should I get into the market right now? Glad I was able to tie that in. Anybody with any questions?
Yes, I've got questions.
Hi, Adam.
I bet you're surprised.
You're going to be my professional question person. I'm glad.
All right.
you're here.
Well, I'm good at that. Anyway, hey, I hate to keep beating the subject like a dead horse, but
Dead
these
horse.
trailing stops. All right. So this week I'm one of your swing trader clients and I made a bunch of money on them. I should say had a bunch of money, and I put in a trailing stop and I expected it to kick.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, it has to be the way that I entered it was wrong. And so I was wondering if you could go over the different, it looks like there's 3 different triggers, right? The percentage step and then the actual tick. What would works best with a swing trade or any trade in this case? And I know generally the concept, or at least the definition of a trailing stop, is that it's supposed to inch up with the market if it goes up and then, trigger, based on whatever you had for your trail. But that's what's looking like it's not working.
Okay.
In this case. Now, and it's most likely a user error. I just want to make sure.
Sure. Okay. So let's just act like we're in a trade on Meta. We're taking a short and we're going to get into it. So we're in a trade now, and now you want to do a trailing stop. So you're going to go over to your monitor tab. Anywhere when you highlight Meta, you can right click it and say create a closing order. As you create that order and you go over to the trail stop function, you then can do it by an amount. So this says if the option price goes down 50 cents. So let's say you did 10 cents. This says if the option price that we just bought in at, we bought this in at 585. If it goes down to 575, the system is going to sell all of our contracts all at once. Does that make sense? Now I'm going to
Yes,
show
by
you.
definition, I understand that.
Right. Is
So
that the one you used? I'm just curious.
I use percentage.
And I'm going to show you that in just a second too. So, but I'll go through all of the functions. So for all those people out there that don't know how to use this function, trail stops are awesome. So I want to show you that as soon as we put the 10-cent trail stop in, you can see that as soon as I did it, we went down 5 cents on the price. And so here it's already telling you, it already marked it as soon as we said 10 cents and it marked it. Oh, at 570, that's when I'm going to sell everything. And you see as this goes up, as it's going up, the trailing stop is going up. We were at 570, now we're at 575. And it's just trailing it like this. Okay, so this is just a visual and how you can make sure that is you can see the mark of your option contract is moving as it should because it's dynamic, but your stop has been calculated and shows you what that stop price is. So we're at 597.5, at 590, that's when it's going to get us out. If it continues to go up, the trail stop will go up with it. So let's get out of this one. I'm going to cancel this. To cancel that order, I just say cancel order. Let's put in another trail stop. So if I wanted to do another trail stop and I want to do a percentage now, we got trail stop. And then now this is a percentage right here. And so this says 1%. So this is going to be 1% of the option price. Adam, what did you use?
Sorry, what? I use the percentage. I use like 25 or 20%.
Okay.
Which may be kind of big, but I mean, that's what I use.
No, that's okay.
So, okay.
That's reasonable for a swing trade, right? So now we're going to say confirm and send, and we're going to go back to our monitor tab to view it. And look how it calculates it, Adam. It says 25% of the option that's running right now is right here at 450. So now you can kind of see. So Adam, with those two, there's another one called the step. I don't use it. I'm not familiar with it. So I can't really speak on it until I do my homework on it, and then I can get back to you on it. But
that one would be tied to the Renko.
Great. I don't use the Renko chart, so that's perfect. So in this right here, are you saying it just didn't work for you?
So there's another attribute you can mess around with. You see that note right there? It says at market right there.
Yeah.
Can you go back to the edit that guy right there? Cancel, replay, or start over, or whatever. It's either mark or it's a trigger, right?
Okay.
Over under link there, it says
yes. Now, when you're doing an OCO and you're doing it all at once, you're going to see where it says trigger there. On any stop on this platform with ThinkorSwim, trail stop, limit stop, just a stop, it's all market. So you're going to be getting out at the market price on any type of stop that you automate.
Got it. Okay. I wonder if I didn't fiddle, because you can fiddle around with that, right?
Oh, sure.
I might have done that.
Yeah, last bid. bid. You can do all of this, and I don't think it's going to make much difference. Trail stop is always a market. You could research that. And by the way, was that a real trade or was that a simulated trade?
It was simulated.
Charles Schwab has done some programming that I haven't really liked since we moved from TD Ameritrade. And the best thing to do is when you see that a stop is not working is to call Charles Schwab and say, hey, I had a trail stop here on my simulated platform. It didn't work. Can you tell me why? And have them go into the back. They'll look and see why and then give you an explanation. And the more complaints or the more calls that things are not working or whatever will prompt them to get their programmer to do better. Because they have made some adjustments that I'm not very happy with. And I think the only way that we can really express that we're not happy with it is to tell them that we're not happy. And how can I possibly, and as you comment to this guy, how could I possibly use real money when I don't feel confident that my trail stop's working? Because I did it here and I want to know why it's not working. Okay.
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
Oh,
very much.
Sandra, may I ask a follow-up question to
Yes, Tom.
that?
Thanks for being here. Go ahead.
Sure, thank you. Okay, so even if you use Mark, and the problem is, and even if you have high liquidity stocks, when volatility goes up, the spread widens. And I have noticed that as the spread widens, the trailing stops become much less reliable. And so I haven't really figured out a way to deal with that. And it's a real problem if you leave a stop on overnight, because then in the early morning or something like that, when they first start, volatility may be way up and they may be almost fishing for stops or something from the market maker standpoint. I'm just wondering, how do you negotiate? How do you deal with that?
So what we've found out in our community since the Schwab takeover is that on vertical spreads or any other type of spread trading, not the singles, but these spreads right here, everything but the single, we're noticing that all of our trail stops are getting stopped right out at the morning open, but never the take profit, even though your position is in profit. And so because of that, we are teaching people about this change that we've noticed. And it might be better that if you're doing a spread trade, because of those two legs and the bid and ask widening in the morning volatility, is to not have your stop loss on in the morning, but to maybe watch your spread. You know, if it gets to a 50% take profit, you could program that in, but not on a 50% stop loss. You may want to identify that. And anything under 50, there's no doubt in my mind it's going to get hit, and you should call and complain, because that's what I do. But I don't even use now when I have a debit spread, a credit spread, I'm not even going to stop until you can actually see it. Now, the one thing that we are experimenting with, and this is great because you sound like an experienced trader, is that you can take a look at this as an example and say to yourself, let me delete this, let me get something new here really quick. This is a workaround that we're working with. So do you see this expected meta price? So what I could do, let's say in my mind, my stop is 50%, and I bought this, I believe, at 585. So you could do this for any type of strategy, but let's say I bought it for 585 minus 50%, it's going to be 290, okay? So I know what the option price is going to be, 50% stop loss. So this is a workaround. You could go right over here and you could see that we're at 565 here. And you could start to increase this price, or excuse me, decrease the price. And because we know that 292, let me just type it in there for goodness sakes, because that's going to take forever. Let's go 292. If I do tab 292, look what the expected price that the platform's giving me.